When should you not get Arizona whole life insurance? Well, first of all, Arizona whole life insurance is well suited for a lot of people, but there are absolutely times when you should not get whole life insurance and you should get something else, and there are lots of options out there. So really quickly, Arizona whole life insurance, it's built for the kind of client who is typically going to be, in most cases, over the ages of 60. In most cases, it's going to be built for someone that wants about 5 to about 40,000 or as much as about 100,000 in coverage. And its whole life insurance is built for someone that you don't have to be in poor health, but if you do have health complications, if you have medical conditions that you think might keep you from getting life insurance, then whole life insurance is probably a better fit for you. And there's one exception to every rule, of course. If you want to have larger coverage policies, but you are in exceptional health, there are options. There are options that it's tough to get qualified for them, but they'll give you large coverage, whole life insurance policies. But they're looking at, they want to see no prescription medicines. They want to see little to no medical conditions. You know, something minor is not usually a big deal. You need to be extremely healthy, and then you can get larger whole life insurance policies, and the price will drop because you are healthier. So that's something you should ask your agent about as well. Now, when not to get Arizona whole life insurance, one of the first big examples is going to be if you are younger and you just want temporary coverage. Temporary coverage could mean anything 30 years or less. So if you're looking for something, a lot of my clients will refer to this kind of a policy as almost like a bridge policy. It's just a stopgap. It's temporary. So if you want something for 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, anything under 30 years, then a term policy is by far going to be the least expensive way to go. Now, you still need to be healthy in order to qualify for this. But a term policy is a great solution for when you're looking for temporary coverage. And whole life insurance is a bad solution when you're looking for temporary coverage, unless it's the only thing you can qualify for. So if you have health complications, medical conditions, prescription medicines that keep you from getting a term policy, which is very common, by the way, especially past the age of about 60, then you can always get whole life insurance temporarily, and you just stop using it when you don't need it anymore. Now, there's another example of when you would not want to get Arizona whole life insurance, and that is if you have medical coverage, but for some reason you have a policy that does not offer accidental coverage, meaning any death in the accidental category, which is roughly it's 1/3 of deaths or so. If you don't have that coverage and that's all you need, just pick up an accidental only policy. They're very inexpensive. You could get $500,000 in coverage for sometimes $50 a month. I mean, it can be very cheap. Depends upon age is the number one factor. And you can get those up until the age of 70. Once you turn 71, you can't start one of those policies. Another example of when you would not want to get Arizona whole life insurance is if you absolutely need more coverage. If it has to be a larger coverage policy, doesn't matter the reason why, then a term policy is probably going to be a better fit. And what you're going to really need to do is just dig in with your agent and just say, look, it has to be 50,000 coverage, it has to be 100,000, it has to be 300,000 in coverage. And I know it's going to cost a lot because I'm 75 and, I've got a few prescription medicines. Chad, what can you do for me? Then we dig in. We see what the absolute best is that we can do. And then we modify it as we can to get the price where it needs to be. But just understand that, especially past the age of about 60, and it really jumps past the age of 70, if you're looking for larger coverage amounts, it does get very expensive. And again, most people don't qualify for it based on health, let alone expense. So those are some great examples of when you would not want to go with Arizona whole life insurance. There are, of course, other situations as well based on budget and things like that. And if you have an agent that genuinely cares and is working hard to make things work for your situation, for your budget, for your house, for your family, then they can help you problem solve if you're having some hiccups, looking for something that's going to work. So make sure that you're very open with your agent. Make sure you pick an agent that you trust so that you can be open. And if we can help you, certainly please reach out to us.